Alright guys, sitting here editing this video. Just quick before you guys watch, I want to give a huge shout out to Pops. He's the guy coming in the video to help me out. He hooked me up with a free brake caliper, free bearings, free grease, he brought just a ton of tools. He hooked me up with a compression tester. So he literally came out here, spent all of his time helping me with, nothing to show for it. So thank you again to Pops. Leave him some love in the comments. Great guy, super cool, and just wanted to thank him once again for coming out. Lots of great tips and tricks that Pops shows you throughout the video, so make sure to watch the whole thing and really tune in because you can learn a lot from him. So enjoy it. Maybe grab some popcorn, soda or something because it's a pretty long video, and enjoy. Alright guys, welcome to a new video. Today's goal of the video is going to be to get this thing tuned up. We're going to put some new wheel bearings on it. We're going to do some little maintenance on it, and yeah, it should be pretty good. So we've got coming over is a Banshee. I guess you could call him a Banshee mechanic. He'll introduce himself later on. I haven't met him yet, but we've been talking back and forth on the phone, and he decided to come out and look over the machine. He's worked on many Banshees in his lifetime, so he'll know what's wrong with it. He's bringing all of his tools: leak down tester, compression tester. He's going to bring his new wheel bearings. He's going to bring a new back brake caliper and brake pads. He's going to bring some new spark plugs. So we're going to get this thing tuned up, good to go. Alright, so here with Pops, he's going to explain who he is. You want to go ahead and just kind of explain your experience and stuff like that?
Pops from Green Bay. That's what most of the kids call me. It was my son, started out with my son. So I've been working on machines, cars, ATVs, anything like that. Had a small farm for a little while, so you always had to be able to fix stuff because otherwise you can't pay for
no way. Yeah.
To make that it just wouldn't work out. So I learned how to fix a lot of stuff real quickly, and motors have been always part of my life. I have an older brother that is 4 years older than I am, and he had friends that were into motors, so naturally I kind of gravitated towards it, and so we would tear stuff apart, see how it would work, and my dad would come back, he'd come home, he'd be just flaming, so we had to get back together. But
that's funny.
So that's pretty much my background. Is been wrenching since darn near since I've been walking. So
wow, that's crazy.
So it's fun though. I like teaching, as well as working on it. So
yeah, cool. And I bet you learn a lot from your mistakes, and then you kind of grow as you're fixing them.
Yeah, there's always tips and tricks that you can use, and sometimes you can get them on YouTube. But I grew up before YouTube. Yeah. So it was take it apart, remember how you took it apart, and then see what looks like it's either worn out or broke, and then fix it from there. So
yeah,
but
cool. So you want to walk us through the Banshee and what we're planning to do with it today?
Yeah. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do a compression test with a compression tester, and then we're just gonna get kind of a baseline because the guy said it was stock, and it's got the stock jets. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get it back to a running stock Banshee. Yep. So that way what we can do is when we're troubleshooting something, we know that okay, this is we can just go right to the Banshee manual. We're not winging it with he threw a jet way out there. Yeah. Yep. So it looks like it's really good.
I was going to ask you once, take a look at the motor once. Do you think it's ever been apart? I was going to ask you that. by looking at like the bolts and stuff. They're very.
You know, I would say probably not, because they don't even look like they're nicked or. Like
I know, and then look at the screws where usually these just strip right out.
Yeah, sometimes you get a few that are just not wanting to turn. You know, even deep inside here, and I'm looking, and it just it doesn't look like it was ever out of the frame. So it still has obviously the original hold down. That's sometimes these things are usually just thrown aside because it's some people don't look at, you know, don't keep them for anything.
Yeah.
Hand tight is tight enough.
Yep.
But it looks like I mean, there's just nothing. Even before the black, you know, this is good right here.
Yep.
But then having it painted black, you know, anything that would hop up, it would pop up a little higher.
Yeah.
So, we're going to. So yeah, I think it's
hasn't been touched really. It doesn't look like. Looks like it just you know kind of rode it. And I actually cleaned the carbs the other day, and it was a stock Jetson there. So I mean. Yeah, I don't think they've ever been taken apart.
I did see that in the video.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever been touched really.
So that's good. That means that you're starting out with kind
a
of
good
like
baseline.
A good blank slate.
You know the history on it. It's never been taken apart.
Yeah.
So it's kind of good.
Different size tires. You know, so that's gonna give you more torque.
Yep.
It's gonna basically pull your butt right off the seat.
Yeah.
So I brought a new caliper, and that has this one right here. If you can kind of zoom like this way right here, you'll see that this one doesn't have. It's right down to the metal.
Yep.
So this pad or this whole thing, this whole caliper should move back and forth, which it does a little bit. But when you're, you can see how the flexes just a little bit.
Yeah.
You want that to pinch evenly. So
you brought a brand new one, so I mean that should fix it. I would think.
Yeah, it's just something I had a spare of. So
yeah, cool.
I mean, who the hell would have who the heck would have a spare one of these? But I do.
That's funny.
I got a bunch of spare stuff here. So
you said bearings on it, I think you said.
Yep, we're gonna do the front bearings on it and do a little tutorial on that. We're gonna show you how to pack them by hand. So we're gonna do it old school because I'm old school.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
So and I like that. Now one thing I'm gonna want to probably take off is this right here. I'm gonna want to take this chain cover off.
Okay.
And check the condition of the case inside here.
Okay.
And for anybody that's since I'm looking at it right here, clutch adjustment.
Yep.
If you look right here, there's a little boss right there.
Yep.
Now this should be pointed right at that boss. Let's just give it a little pull, boop, right there.
Okay.
So
that's good to know. Never knew that before.
Yep. That's kind of like your clutch feels good, feels pretty smooth. We're gonna lube the cables too. I got
cool.
We'll show you the tools that we're gonna use, and a lot of it came from just years of tool collecting. But these bearings here, they look a little crusty.
They do look crusty.
So what we're gonna do, this whole hub right here is gonna come out.
Okay.
This whole thing right here, and this is actually, this part is separate from the hub, so you can actually paint the hub.
Okay.
And then you can paint this a different color if you would like.
Okay.
So if this was silver kind of clashes, I put silver on mine with these rims.
Yeah.
I also bought the Banshee rims from that one guy.
Oh, okay.
And so I have Banshee rims, and the silver is kind of a hard set, hard to set it off. But if going with the theme of the machine, you have black and then you have white. And then you have the silver on the frame.
Yep.
So.
And then the silver on the seat as well.
Yeah, the silver, that looks really nice. I like that.
I can't find a duplicate seat cover. I can't find one like that again. So
that's
it's tough to find. They're all black, just straight black, or like red and black, or
yeah.
I don't know. It's tough to find.
So, but I think what we're gonna put together a really good good list here. Looks like you hit some of the grease.
Yeah, I just before I
Pieces
rode
here.
it, I just hit it with the grease because I'm like, I bet you it's
Good.
never been greased before.
So
Needs a couple more spots though, right in here. I ran out of grease in my grease gun, but
how is it tracking? Is it tracking pretty good?
not really.
Okay.
It's a little wobbly, you know. It's like kind of
Kind
have to. Yeah, it's not the greatest in the world.
This arm right here looks like it's a little bent.
Okay.
So we can check the toe in, you know, because I bet you this side, if you were to put the handlebars straight, that wheel's going to be straight. Your right hand side wheel is going to be straight.
Yeah.
Your left hand wheel is probably going to be probably kicked in just a
little bit.
What I want to do is, I know that the camera doesn't usually do justice when you're listening to a motor.
No.
So if you want to fire it up,
yeah.
you know, just
You want to hold the camera?
Yeah, I'll hold that, and let's let me see where we're at. There we go. Hell yeah.
There's a misfire on this one, I think. You listen, it like stops running for a brief second. Yup, right there.
Okay,
So
yep.
there's a misfire.
Okay.
Could be the spark plug.
Okay, well, the leak down test, now I had it in my head for some darn reason. I had it in my head that we were going to be doing it for an hour, and we can do is, like I said, we're gonna give this thing the best opportunity to run at its best. So, and that's obviously doing a compression test. We're going to do a leak down test. We're going to burn out the silencers, and that's going to be the engine. My guess is is that this one being this side right here having the misfire is most likely going to be a crank seal. Now, you know, the funny thing is that it's probably about a $2 part, but you know, if you were to take it somewhere, it's $1,000 to get to that.
Yeah.
You know, one $2 part. Well, it's like, oh, it's only a $2 part. Yeah, it takes $1,000 to get there.
Yeah, you have to take apart the whole thing. So,
Banshees aren't bad, you know. So, I think it sounds actually really good. There's no piston slap that I can hear of. There is that little miss in there. So. But
could it be a couple different things like gas flow or something like that, or bad spark plug, or
gas flow? We can check. Spark plug, we're gonna put in a new set, and I'm gonna check the spark plugs when we pull them out. So a lot of this stuff I've had forever. This is just I don't remember where the heck I got it, but I've had it for.
It seems to work pretty well.
Yeah, and it's got different adapters, obviously, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen them, you know, and they still make them. So
yeah.
But this is just my compression tester here. Here's a brand new caliper, so that's going to be going on there.
Wow.
We're just going to take a little bit of bits and pieces out of it. So spark plugs here, BR8 ES.
Sweet.
Got kind of a lot of those. We got probably six or seven. Later on, if you want to talk about like the range of spark plugs, like if you're running on a hot day, if you're running on a cold day, you know, that's kind of what that is. This is our cable lube right here. What you do is you just open this up, small side, big side.
Yeah.
You just slip it. You just kind of slip the cable right in there, and when you clamp it down, it clamps down on the tight end right here, and you just put the cable lube or cable life tip right in there. You give it a shot, and it just shoots it straight down.
Wow.
And it will just improve your handle on your cable.
That's pretty cool.
You're gonna
That's
love
really
that.
cool.
You're gonna be amazed how much. This right here, small gauge. Because we're like when you're setting your tires and stuff on, especially on ATVs, we don't run high pressure, we run low pressure.
Okay.
And you know, some of them start out at like 20 psi, so it's kind of hard to get a good reading on it.
Yeah.
And these are just some cotter pins and some other sorts of stuff, clips,
Nice.
just in case, you know, we need to make something, you know, clamp it down.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Cool.
So, but we're gonna repack the bearings here. I got the grease in my my van here, and we're gonna first, I guess, we'll take the wheels off, or we're gonna do a compression test. I'm sorry.
Yeah, everyone wants to know what the compression is on this thing, so this should be exciting.
So yeah, I'm gonna let the machine speak for itself.
Yep.
So let's go to a compression test right now.
All right, so we took the spark plug out, as you were explaining before. There's a cold way to do it, and then the hot way.
Yeah,
so you want to explain that again?
There's when you're doing like a cold, obviously the engine's cold, so we're gonna do a compression there. A lot of times they like to do a compression when it's hot. You know, everything's expanded. The pistons, rings, everything's warm and sealed up nice and tight. But we're just gonna do a compression test here. So Joe here is going to screw this thing in.
Okay.
Here's what we're gonna do is we're just gonna line this thing up. If you want to come on this side here, line it up nice. And I'm twisting this right here.
Oh, okay.
I'm twisting the whole hose and everything. So I can actually just twist it tight right from here, because it's kind of like, you know, like I say, it's just like a cable.
Oh, okay.
So we're just want to hand tight. We're not going to go, you know, we're not going to go all King Kong on this thing, because it's not, doesn't have to be. Our compression tester, I tested it because this is kind of like an air chuck. So you know, you can regularly test your compression tester to see if it's okay. I don't understand. And then you know, I have different gauges that I hook up, and I make sure that everything is within reason. I've never had a real problem, so but it doesn't hurt to test it every so often. So
all right.
So what we're gonna have Joe do here is we're gonna have him turn the key off, make sure that the key is off, make sure that the fuel is off.
Fuel is off.
And then he is going to open the throttle all the way.
Okay.
Oop. And now he is going to kick it. And we should see right around 100 to 150 psi. He's going to kick it vigorously. Okay. So what we're running here is we're running a little shy of 120 psi to release. Boop. Let's kick the bejesus out of it here real quickly, and then we'll see. Now again, this is a cold, so I mean, you know, we're still dealing with the fact that it's cold.
Okay.
So
Kick it over again.
yep. Okay, we're gonna look up on the 120. I'm gonna hand this back over to Joe. We're gonna look at the manual and find out what the go no go is on it.
Okay.
120. I think that's pretty good.
Okay.
You know, I mean, if we were right around 100 to 90 psi, I'd be a little more concerned.
Okay.
You know, like a real low 100. I'd be a little more concerned. You know, probably would have been smart to pull out the other spark plug, but whatever. So we're going to remove the other side of this, and compare spark plugs as well as redoing our compression test. So,
all right. So we pulled the plugs out, and we noticed that the plug on the right cylinder was gapped really, really wide. And we looked at the specs, and you said the specs were what?
Specs right here are 28 to 31.
Okay.
And it was the new one right here, because they come pre-gapped, is 28, and that one feels the same as the one that we pulled out on the left.
On the left
side.
that was running correctly.
The one that was running correctly.
Yeah. Okay. And then
So-
we checked this with the feeler gauge, and it was way off.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
you guys can see that. I mean, it's a huge gap.
It is a massive gap. I wouldn't. If I was to add up, I would say it's got to be right around.
Almost 40,
in the
probably.
40s.
Yeah,
in the 40s.
That's crazy. Almost double.
Yeah. So, and when you're dealing with, you know, 2 strokes and such, you know, you want to make sure that the gap is within tolerances. But I mean, when we're talking that far out, that's a little insane.
Yeah, that's not good.
So that's definitely not good.
So we're gonna now change the plugs.
We're just gonna put brand new plugs in there,
Okay.
and we're gonna still do our compression test. But here's the beautiful brand new ones. Business end. If somebody says, "Hey, I just, you know, you got good plugs in or something like that," and they look like this, you know, you don't know how old they are. This is the business end of it, and that's what you're looking for. A lot of people look at spark plugs, and it can look like this and be completely fouled out like this.
Yeah.
Because this is what's going on inside the cylinder. So you always, if something doesn't seem right,
Check the plugs.
yeah, check the plugs. We're gonna do a few battery tests on it and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
but let's get back to what we're doing with the compression test.
All right. Time to do the other side.
Stand over it.
There you go.
Okay, so
It's off. Fuel's off. Kick it over.
throttle wide open
yeah.
and kick it. Yep. Okay. All right. So you want to be within a certain percentage on each cylinder. Sometimes it's like between. See, that's about that. Between like 10 to 15, depending on the motor. We'll have to check the specs on the manual. See what's passable.
Okay.
So, but again, we're still dealing with that cold start.
Yep.
And if you want to, I got a lot of spark plugs. So if we want to put new spark plugs and see if that changed that gap, let's let it rip, Jader Chip, because I think that's going to be you're going to feel a change in that almost
I
immediately.
bet. Yeah.
So let's go to that then.
All right. So we're installing brand new plugs. We've got the left one going in right now, and we'll tighten those down. And then the right one, which was the old one, was gapped way too big. So we've got the specs right on this one, so it should make a huge improvement.
And that was the one that you were having a problem with it kind of missing.
Yep. So we'll tighten these down, and we'll maybe fire it up again and see if it runs a lot better.
Okay, so first fire up with the new spark plugs. I like that.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it doesn't have that miss.
No.
You know, that you said you're having a problem with. The smoke is down a little bit lower. So,
Take it for a quick ride.
I'm going to say, yeah, go take it for a quick rip. Let's see what she does. Have to check those needles, see where those needles are at. He might have accidentally, well, not accidentally, but the previous owner might have pulled them, put the clips, Jesus, quite a bit. So I'm not seeing a smoke. He's not fogging for skeeters, so it's, well, I guess it is. It's a little bit. it's lifting pretty good. It's not pulling the wheels off the ground, so. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too bad. It sounded like it was clearing out a little bit, I think, because it wasn't warmed up.
Yeah, it was. You're looking for skeeters on the way down there, but it's like, well, you know, it was a little cold.
And the air filter cage did not come yet, so.
Yep. Okay.
So that maybe could affect it too.
Well, when you're smoking a bit much, you're getting more fuel oil than you are air.
Okay.
So, you know, we can. This is where right here.
Okay.
If you still have the torch system, again, if it's working, great.
Yep.
You know, there's no reason to change it. You just turn them down right here, turn them down equally.
Okay. We can do that quick.
Yeah, I got a Felipe here, so that's no good. So if you want to fire it up.
Okay. Let's see here. Alright, so we're working on the bearings now. First step was to get this cotter pin out of here, and then we loosened up the nuts on here, and then loosen up the main nut right here, and then what's the next step after that?
Now you're just going to want to lift it up.
Jack it up a little bit?
Yep, brace it up. Obviously put some, you know, safety reasons. We're going to put something behind the wheel.
Okay.
A brick or something.
Yeah.
And so we'll go ahead and just jack it up right now.
Alright.
And I'll let you... Any jack will do. It's not really all that heavy. If you have a jack stand, that'll work too. Right now the suspension's flexing out. Sweet. Okay, that's good there. Okay, so we pop this loose right here. Pop the nut off, pop the nut loose.
Yep.
So we're just gonna take that off.
Okay.
Now the whole thing is gonna shit. You know what? The brake caliper has to come off.
Okay.
As well.
Okay.
Because when you try to pull you can pull the wheel off, but you're not gonna get the.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So let's get some of our stuff out of the way that we don't need here.
All right. So we took the caliper off. That wasn't too bad. There was just two of these bolts that were holding it on. So we got that up. Next step?
Just go ahead and pull off the before you do that, I can almost promise you that this shaft here is going to be most likely corroded like this right here. It's not going to, but it doesn't ride on any of that, so
okay.
Don't be too concerned about it.
Okay.
But just something, so you just hold on and gently. Holy crap, she's clean.
Wow.
Nice. Now you look at the seals on there.
Oh yeah.
Those things are just fried.
Yeah. Weathered.
So, and they ride on this little race right here.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean up that race and get all the rubber coating off of that from this seal.
Okay.
And Big E here is this little bearing. We're gonna clean that up too.
Okay, perfect.
So that's also in there. Don't lose that. That's if we're gonna take the brake off. If we're gonna take the disc off, you take it off with the Allen's here. Pops right off. I don't see really a reason unless you want to paint this. That's up to you. Okay. So let's get into bearing pulling.
All right. So right now we're going to be cleaning up the whole bearing system in here, and then popping out the bearings, popping out the seals. That's basically it. And then reinstalling all the brand new ones.
All the new ones here. This one also has this little spacer has some of the seal that got chewed up. You can see that the seal is just munched, you know, and it's seen better days. So we're just going to use some gummit carb cleaner and a rag and just give it a wipe down, because you can see most of it comes off, but the rest of it's going to come off with carb cleaner. So
cool.
Joe's going to be using a flat screwdriver to pry out the seals here. Since they're junk, we're not really going to be concerned about reusing them. So he's just going to go right into it and just rip them out. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do that.
All right, so we got the old bearings out. As you can see, punch those out. They're right here. Then we've got the new ones packed. You want to show them that?
Packed here.
How did you pack those?
I just,
for everyone that's watching.
Again, you can buy a packer from like Harbor Freight. They have bearing packers. I still grab the grease, throw it in my hand, and you just keep on mushing it in there. Keep on turning, mush, turn until the entire bearing is packed tight. Okay. And a lot of times you can see it's just coming out of this little lip right in here. So it's packed tight. Awesome. This little unit right here, this is a taper spacer. This is going to come out when you pull out your outside bearing, the smaller one. It's going to come out of there. And do that one first. Do the smaller one first. It's going to be a little difficult, but you'll get it. I promise. This is going to fall out too, but make sure that it gets put back in the same way with the taper down. Okay. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to put in the bearings here, and we're going to put them so that the ball bearings are out. Now this right in here, you can throw a little grease in here if you want to, or a lot of times you can clean it up and it'll just slide right in.
This one's pretty clean already, it looks like.
A lot of it probably came out with the bearings. So some people say, oh, you know, you should put what is that? Like a sealant or something like that. But these are sealed bearings. One, we got good seals going into it. Not really concerned about it. Not worried. So we're going to center up the bearing the best we can here. Now, if you have access to a press, good on you. You know, press it down. But we don't. So what we're going to do is we are going to grab a piece of wood and we're going to lightly tap it in, just tapping it in with the wood, and then we're going to get a little more aggressive with the hammer and get it seated with the correct socket on the outside of the race. You do the inside and you might as well just throw that away. Okay. You might as well throw that bearing away, that's junk. So it has to match the outside of that race.
All right, so we got the bearings in here with the seals. Everything's all lubed up with some grease.
It's got that little bit of a lip there.
Oh, yeah. And
so this grease in the back doesn't really do anything.
Okay.
I'm always using it's kind of like, you know, it's a generic, but it's a high speed, high temp disc brake, blah blah, oil. But you just grab a little smooch of it and then just drop it right into the thing. Drop it in the lip so that it's flush all the way around. And we did that to both of them. Here's our spacer again, now cleaned up. It will slip gingerly right into there. Oh, that's nice. Perfect. So good to go there. This is my good bearing. So
that's done.
One side done for that.
Yeah, perfect. So on to the next side. We're not going to film that because we just filmed the whole process of doing this side. We'll get that done, and then we'll what are we gonna do after that?
Let's see. I have to look at what we got here. Oh, we're gonna move some cables up. Lifts right or something like that. Your tire pressure, and that's what we're gonna do.
Oh, okay.
You can check the tire pressure real quickly here. I'll give you that.
All right.
And check the rear tire pressure, because if you have one that's a little low, that side's gonna squat down, and then it's gonna throw you sideways.
You want to quick do that right now?
So yep. Go ahead and just check that.
Check 3.
Yep. So you got about 3 there.
What's the normal PSI it's supposed to have?
It's kind of depends on your where you're riding, what you're riding on.
Okay.
A little more solid ride. Obviously, if you're going to go up a little higher, this one's at. So I can tell you that it's launching to the left hard. Yep. So that's so I would just pump that one up to 5.
Okay.
And then just check them back and forth.
All right.
Make sure that they're
even.
They're there and even.
Okay.
Yeah. So because right here one tire's flat. Yeah, you'll notice real quick.
I wonder if that one has a little leak in it too.
That one does over there.
I wonder if it does.
Okay, we can check
because they were pretty even when I bought it. But
in the next video, what you can do is you can just take air it up to about no more than like 30 psi somewhere in there, and then just take some soapy water and just go around the bead. Okay. It might be just it needs a new air valve. So.
Oh, okay.
So, but that's not a problem.
Good. So it should ride a lot straighter now.
Yeah, you'll take off.
So we'll pump that one up to 5 psi, and then we'll put the front brakes on. And be good to go.
I gotta clean this up here.
All right.
This has, just so we are aware, this does have 2 ways of putting this in. This one just happens to be all gooped up, soup to gloop. So it can, the cotter pin, depending on where you get it tightened, the castle nut tightened, you can either put it in this way or this way. It's really not that big of a deal.
Okay.
We're gonna tighten this right here because that was probably rubbing on something that it shouldn't have.
Yeah, that's not good.
And that's what we're gonna play with. You want to take a look at your radiator here? And
sure. Yep. Let's take a look at the radiator.
See what kind of
Please be cooling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see.
A little push down there now.
Oh, filled.
Topped off.
Cool.
Good to go. Joel's gonna take care of the tires. I'm gonna clean up axle here, and we're gonna get that put back together.
All right, so we're working on the brakes right now.
Parking brake.
Yep.
In particular. What you're gonna want to do is take it out of the housing right here. This is, you have to get the ferrule out to drop out of the bottom here. Yep. So once you just take that, move that off to the side. If you set that there, it's probably gonna fall. Most likely. And then here is our tool. Handy dandy little tool. Cool. Now we're gonna slip this in and onto the cable. Now it's gonna fit tight right on here. Okay. As we tighten it, it's got 3 different types of levels that it will do. And it tightens around the cable, and it tightens around the sheath. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is take our cable life, stick it in the hole here. We already shook it up, so we're not gonna be too concerned. Don't worry if it sprays out a little bit everywhere. The majority of it does have to just get down into the cable, which it is.
Cool.
So,
unique tool. Where'd you find that?
This is, you can buy this on Amazon. Rocky Mountain has it. Most places are gonna carry this. So yeah, I'm gonna say that that's just about. Because it's all under, the whole cable sheath is under pressure, so it's going to just keep on pushing, and a little bit's going to sneak out there, but no big deal. Just keep on shooting it. And once you're done, you just loosen up this cable, just loosen up the bolt here, slide it forward, off the sheath, and then just right off.
Perfect.
Done. So
not too bad.
Then your cable is easy. So
Nice little tip.
That's
Very
it.
good little tip.
Best. You can do it this way. There's other, you know, homebrew ways of doing it.
Yep.
And I've tried them all. This is probably the cleanest way. So, it's only like 10 or 15 bucks.
Okay.
And it comes with the
oh wow.
with that. So
Definitely worth it.
definitely worth getting this tool, because you're gonna find a lot more uses for it than just your ATV. Any cable, bikes. If it's got a cable, you're gonna probably use it. So.
All right, so we just finished up the Banshee for today. Let's go through the list of what we did. We did the bearings for the front bearings. We did the spark plugs. We checked compression. We did the lubing up of the brake.
New cotter pins.
New cotter pins. What else? Checked everything out, and oh yeah, we adjusted the idle.
Yes. Compression test, and that's good.
Yep. So everything should be good. We're gonna take it for a ride. Tire pressure we did.
Yep. I'm gonna shoot the pipes with this here. This is an infrared temperature sensor, and what this is gonna tell me is if one side is running hotter than the other. You know, we can just test the temperature that way. So.
All right. The battery's almost dead, so we gotta hurry.
Okay.
Alright, got back on the ride with the Banshee, did the temperature gun, both pipes, very similar outcome on both.
Yes.
Both temperatures were in the range, so that was good.
Within 20 degrees, so both of them are firing equally.
Yep.
And it sounds freaking awesome.
Yeah, then we found out that there was like a big bug nest in here, so we cleaned that out. That was all good to go. I'll show a picture of that right now. And then, what else did we do?
Because with the throttle.
Yeah, the throttle was, and it wasn't going back all the way really. And there was actually like some seeds in there that were getting caught, so it wasn't letting the throttle go back all the way, which could be why it revved up sometimes. So
there you go. And that was, yeah.
Yeah, last video I think it revved up pretty high at some point, so maybe the seed was kind of moving around in there.
Well, the one was almost all the way down into the cable,
lodged in
so,
there. Yeah, crazy. But right now we're looking at the Tor's system. A lot of people in the last video said that, oh, they don't believe the Tor's limits the RPMs, but if you look right there, just read that and you're good to go. It says parking brake is applied, switch on, misfire occurs at 2300 RPM, and then engine will not rev up beyond 2300 RPM. So there's the system right there for you guys on the manual. So that's pretty.
That's the straight dope. I mean, if you want to argue it, call up Yamaha.
Yep.
Tell them they're wrong.
That's all you need to see right there. So I think we're pretty much finished with the Banshee for today. Not much left to do on it. We've got the seat cover to do. What else do you think? Oil we got.
Yep.
Tighten the chain. Put the brake caliper on.
Put the caliper on, yeah. And you're going to show how to adjust the brake, because let's set the brake right now.
Okay.
Like, okay, so we push the handle.
Yep.
Got it back. Boom. And it's the parking brake.
And this still
moves.
So we gotta adjust that
up and down the road.
Yep. So we have to adjust that when we put the caliper on. But after that, we should be good to go.
And you just to release it, you just pull it.
Yep.
Easy day.
But anyway, thanks for your help, Pops. I mean,
no problem.
It's
always fun.
Want to shout out your YouTube channel?
I really don't have much of a YouTube channel, so
right.
I would. Like I said, I'm just more. I get more of a kick out of helping people, go fast.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Watching them have fun, that's cool.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming out. All right, guys. So that was the working on the Banshee. He left. He went back to Green Bay, but we've got a couple more things to do. Got to do the caliper on the back, tighten up the chain, oil change. What else do I have to do on this thing? Oh yeah, fix the parking brake in the back, which is just a small adjustment. Do a new air filter and seat cover, and then that should wrap it up. So we're making progress, but not quite there. So if you guys want to follow my Instagram, it's 2_vintage_ for behind the scenes. And I think that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Until next time, we are